Hello everyone, happy February 14th. If you celebrate Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. Like I always say, for me, the 14th is every Friday because Friday is Oshun's day, it's Venus day. So we are going to look at this from an astrological perspective with a little African twist, because a lot of people don't realize that Venus, the planet Venus, and even the Roman goddess of love Venus is Oshun, or Oshun is Venus. Aphrodite, Het Heru, Hathor, whatever you want to call her. So we are going to look at this not from a sun sign perspective. So if you are a Gemini, but your Venus is not in Gemini, this won't necessarily apply to you. You can look at it and some of the things may apply, but this is specifically for those with Venus and Gemini. How to find your Venus in Gemini, I'll leave a link in the description box. It's easy to find. You do not need to know your hour of birth. You just simply need to know your accurate date of birth in order to find your Gemini, your Venus placement. So let's get started very quickly. Like the magician card in tarot, the Venus in Gemini gets off on enchanting and charming the people that fall in love with them. They like to amaze you, wow you. You know, like how a magician does magic tricks, they get off on that. If you're the type, you see through their BS, and even if it's not BS, if you are not enchanted by them, you're not amazed by them, and you're apathetic, that's a turnoff to them. They will quickly disappear out of your life, especially if you are inarticulate, boring, and you are just not easily moved. Like say someone who is a Taurus, they may not do well with the Taurus because they won't even make a Taurus bat an eyelash, blink, or crack a smile. So that's a turnoff for them. So you have to be a person that is amazed by them. It's like, let me entertain you. Look at my magic trick and look at my hypnosis and you must be enamored by me. They get off on that. They also get off on good conversations. They can talk themselves into falling in love with you. They think they were going to try to get you to love them, but then they end up talking enough to where now they're falling in love with you because you're a great listener or you're a great communicator. You give great feedback and you're really smart, quirky, and intellectual. They like all of that. They fall in love rather quickly, but not always permanently, because it's like love is like a buffet to them. They're always bouncing back and forth here and there between different people and different experiences, searching for their inner twin and the experience with themselves. They love, once again, they love to amaze, astonish, and mesmerize their love interests. You have to be open to what they are trying to display to you. Act like you've never seen this before, what they are trying to do. Or, oh my God, I've never had someone have such a great conversation. Or you're so funny. That's Venus and Gemini. That's what they like, and that's the type they fall in love with, or someone who is like that to them. They can literally love multiple people at one time. Think of someone that has 3 different favorite foods. Say they like, for example, pizza. And then the next day they may like a burger. And then the next day they may like a Waldorf salad. So just because they love both of those 3 foods doesn't mean that they love one more than the other always. But it's more like it depends on what they're in the mood for. Do I want pizza today? Do I want Waldorf salad? Do I want the veggie burger or whatever it is? It's just like they like variety. Love is like a buffet for them. Let's see. They are attracted to women with multiple personalities. And let's see. And if they do settle, because they can be serial monogamous, they can do monogamy for a while. It's kind of like if you go in a pool and you hold your breath, you can hold your breath for a little bit, but you got to come back up. That's Gemini. So they'll go down in the water with you in the throes of love, but then they got to come back up for air because Venus in Gemini is an air sign and they have to breathe and have air. They got to come up to breathe out of the water with you. So they may not have long-term commitments until they get older in life and meet their match after some disappointments or some ego deaths. Anyway, I will repeat, they are attracted to women with personalities. If they settle for one person for a temporary time period, the person must have different styles, different wigs, different sexual experimentations in any given moment, and given to Geminis different changing moods to keep the Gemini engaged emotionally. So if you are trying to catch a Venus and Gemini man, you want to be the type of a person, okay, next time you're in the bed, you want to have a red wig on. Then the next time you may want to have a blonde wig. Then one day you may want to come in with braids. And then one day you may want to come in with a bob. You got to switch it up. You got to switch your makeup color. They don't want like this person who has the same style. Come in like a boho style one day, then come in classy, then come in, I don't know, ghetto fabulous, whatever it is, just change it up. Okay, be yourself, be your authentic self, but they like change in appearance, because remember, Venus is not only how we express love, it is what we consider physically attractive on a shallow level. And Gemini can tend to be a shallow sign, so you have to be able to switch it up, kind of change things up. Don't just do the same thing every time. It's kind of like eating steak every night. Steak. Yes, steak is great, but sometimes you just want a hot dog. That's Venus and Gemini. Love is a buffet table where there are many different things to sample. They are a quantity over quality sometimes, since their experiments with people are so shallow. It's like, I want to taste a little this, and that. And they just want to have a little of everything, just a sample. They don't want the full course meal. They just want a sample. That's why it said that Venus and Gemini can tend to be shallow. But what they give you, they can truly enjoy the sample and truly have true love. But it's just a little sample. They don't want the whole cup. They just want a little sample, or just a little spoon taste. Let's see. Excuse me. So it's like, for example, if it's a man, he may be like, okay, today I'm going to have a chocolate girl. Today I'm going to have a Brazilian girl. Today I'm going to have a West African girl. Tomorrow I want an Indian girl. Then maybe a Japanese girl. They want to taste a little of this, a little of that. It's not just always the same thing. Their type can change quite often. But the thing that has to be consistent is the person must be articulate and intellectual, fun, and willing to be amazed by them. Also, Venus and Gemini can either be bisexual or attracted to bisexual women. Venus and Gemini are known, not always, but they're known to be notorious for having two lovers at the same time. Or if they don't have two lovers, not meaning that they're sexually active with both of them, but they may be with somebody and be in love with somebody else at the same time, even if one is not being physically. If they're not being sexually active with one, it's like they still love that person. They can often find themselves in love with two people, or in love triangles and emotional entanglements. And they often feel uncomfortable. It also depends on their moon sign. They can feel uncomfortable if they don't have a B plan, even if they do love the person, because they're always like, what if things change, or what if the rug's pulled out from under me? I need a B plan to land on. Let's see what else with Venus and Gemini. Once again, they fall in love many different times. They can be serial monogamous, giving you a little time here and there. They think it's the person that they're falling in love with, but really, once again, it's them trying to experience themselves, their lost inner twin, in order to incorporate that and experience themselves through different people and different scenarios, because their soul seeks the experience of finding itself and being whole with itself. Once again, they need stimulating conversations. You must be intelligent and articulate, or they could be turned off. So they don't want to hear you going, I'm just really in love with you, and I be thinking of you all the time. That will turn them off. They will be gone so quick. So make sure that you're articulate, intelligent, and that you express yourself with clarity as much as possible. And they don't like someone that just goes like, that's the turn off to Venus and Gemini, because they're impatient. They want you to hurry up and spit it out. They're not the type of person where it can be like, I have something to tell you, or can I ask you a question? Well, they don't like people that kind of dilly-dally. They want you to get right to the point, because their minds are racing so fast. So when it comes to love, they need somebody who can think fast and express themselves in a concise, clear manner. Let's see. The idea of sex with the person that they're in love with can be more mental. They can be more in love with the idea of dirty talk, or the idea of the thrill of the chase, or just some sort of fantasy or challenge that turns them on, rather than actually getting it on physically. But it also depends on their Mars placement. Let's see. They need to feel that their lover is, I already said that. They need to feel that their lover is receptive and in all of their magic tricks, because they're like the magician card in tarot. They have to be able to woo you and wow you. They are at their best, honestly, when juggling different people and would make a great polygamist, not a polyamorous, because just because they have different options and variety in their relationships doesn't mean that they want you to do the same thing. They want you to be dedicated to them while they have their options open, because they're like, well, I'm a Gemini. You got to understand, I'm multiple people, so I have to serve each of these multiple people inside of me, and I have to have a different thing for this day for this day and time. So I need you to be dedicated while I have my little multifaceted relationships that have nothing to do with the fact that I don't love you. It's not that I don't love you. I'm just multiple people in one. That's how a Venus and Gemini would think. They would only want a threesome if they are able to be the star of the show. They don't want to be the hostess or the host or supporting cast. They want it they want to be the focal part in the triangle. If there is a triangle, they want to be at the top of that triangle rather than at the bottom two sides. Let's see. They love role play in bed. They may be the type that like to play cops and robbers, dress up in, uniforms, be different people, different characters. They like doing stuff like that. So that is the summary for Venus and Gemini. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, share this if you have a Gemini in your life, a Venus and Gemini, share this with them. It may apply. All of it won't apply. Okay, be sure to comment and let me know your experiences with Venus and Gemini people. Peace and bliss.